Hi everyone, I'm Sibo, and on today's SvanNET lesson we are going to take a look at setting up alerts for your noise monitoring system. On my project, I'm going to go into configuration. As I explained earlier, we have three different stages of configuration. We have project configuration, measurement point configuration, and we are going to look at the station configuration. So we're going to edit station configuration. And now we are at the device, the meters configuration. And today we're going to take a look at setting up audio recording alerts. So on the audio recording alert tab, we have several different modes that could be used in different ways depending on the application that is suitable for you. First mode that we have is continuous. So this means that as soon as you apply, it will record the audio continuously from the time you press start and until you press stop. Slope plus, this would look at the noise level going from below the threshold to above. And level minus is going from above to below the threshold. And slope plus and slope minus, these two work same as level plus and level minus. We also have gradient, and gradient is used when, for example, you have an alarm level that suddenly changes. For example, you don't care about the absolute threshold, but you care if the level raises by 10 dB in a very short time. So in an application example, perhaps you're measuring noise in a shopping mall. You know that the noise level will slowly raise as more people come in the shopping mall, but you want the alarm to be triggered if the levels raise increasingly super quick by 10 dB, for example. We also have integration period. So this alarm works based on your integration period. So if you have a 1 hour integration period, and I know this sounds a little bit confusing, but if we take a few steps back into storage, and in your storage you have your summary result. I know on your storage it's named as summary result, but when you are setting up your audio alert, it's also known as like an integration period. So as you've seen, I've got my integration period set to 1 hour. So that means it will trigger based on a 1 hour and will record for 10 seconds. So in this application, it would be the fact that every hour I will get a 10-second audio clip. I can even change that if I want to. So if I want a 30-second clip, I can do so. I can set like a pre-trigger format. Your PCM format is your audio file uncompressed. Extensible is the one that kind of sits in between PCM and A-low compression, and your A-low compression is your audio file compressed in an MP3 format essentially. So these file format, typically you would use a A-low compression format if you're only ever interested in listening to the audio files. PCM is for that you're going to post-process your file into external software. So for example, if you're going to use Svan PC++ and you're looking to do like an FFT spectrum for tonality, then you would select a PCM file format. And we also have external. So external, if you ever have an external device plugged into the auxiliary output of the device, you can use that to set off, like trigger off an alarm. And we also have an alarm, and this is the way that I would recommend that 90% that you should set your alarms up. And I'm going to explain how this alarm mode work. So we have a recording time. So I want like a 30-second clip. I can also include like a pre-trigger if I want to. So let's say a 5-second pre-trigger. My file format, I'm just going to leave as it is. PCM, Z-weighted, bits per sample, and I'm just going to leave. The only thing that I want to change over here is the length limit. So the length limit, I always recommend that you have, if you're only ever recording short amount of audio, so you just always set your audio length clip to 1 minute. So that means it will ever only record a 1 minute audio at maximum if any sound pressure levels exceeded due to your threshold. So once I have that set up, if I then go on to event trigger, and on my event trigger, I'm going to add event. I can set my time condition, whether it's on site Monday to Friday, and I want that alarm between 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. And I go into trigger and I select my threshold. So based on the threshold, we have multiple sources that you can alarm from. So if I take a look at the sources, I have an LEQ 1 second, I have an LEQ 1 hour SR. So the SR is coming from your summary result, and the LEQ 30M is 30 minutes, and this is coming from my time history period. And these are the various parameters that I could use to alarm off. So my LAF max, my rolling LEQ, and I'm also able to alarm based on my LN values and my projected LN. So this is essentially using a projected LEQ. But for today's example, I'm just going to select that I just want like a 1 hour LEQ alarm, and this is my threshold, 75 dB. Select OK. And I then go on to marker. I can add action. I want to attach an audio clip. So if my threshold has been exceeded, it will also capture a 30-second audio clip. So that means I can use that as reference later down the line when I'm doing any further analysis. And also I can go into my email alarms, add my recipient. Once I've added my recipient and I'm happy with how my event trigger has been set up, and all I got to do is just select apply, and that's how it's done.